wants to come up and tell me that she, it was after Shavuot, and tell me she's not from Tzfat, or I would never mention it. And she came up to me in AQM, and I'm sharing this on Tisha B'Av because I think it's relevant. She came up to me at AQM, and she said, I was at your class last night. I said, great, hope you had a good time, And she said, I just want to tell you that something about you doesn't look Jewish. Now, being a Gioret, obviously,
your nose.
That went right into my heart. Oh. And I said, she said, something about your Torah is not Jewish. And I said, well, we did a nickname. We learned a piece of the Zohar, and we blessed each other. Would you mind sharing with me what about that felt not Jewish to you? And I tried. Now you can feel a little prick coming through me, but in a moment, I really tried to say it with her, speak with her from an open heart, not from a defensive position, which again is my work, right? How do I meet this person not from self energy, not from one of my defenders and protective parts? So she said, I don't know what it is, but something about you feels Hindu. What? Hindu. Oh. Huh. And I'm laughing inside. She doesn't know that I actually grew up to Washington. So she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Right? But it was not meant as a compliment. Okay. And she said, I'm going to speak to my Rav back home in blah blah, the city that she's from, my Chabad Rav, and I'm going to ask him. This is important. I'm not saying this just to air my dirty laundry. I'm saying this because that's the definition of this energy called Sinat Chinam, which is we set each other off for our own internal personal reasons that are not rational or logical, and there's no basis in logical reality, but nonetheless, those energies exist in us. And nonetheless, we have to have tools, or when we feel triggered by another person, for no conscious reason, they never did anything to us, and one another is triggered by us for no conscious reason, and we didn't consciously harm them. And yet, we have to be skillful with how do we work with that energy. Okay? How do we work with the energy of being not right, being rejected? Please, I can't. Please, I'm really begging. Please, I already my nervous system feels so discombobulated. Anything we can do to be subtle on this space would really help me. Not to embarrass. Just kind of wanted to go over to the knots. I have a pen. Just write your name and your email's name and
my name, my mother's name,
and just put it in the basket.
Judy. Should you have one? Should you?
Okay, so I want to remind all of us, this that's happening in space right now, this is Torah. This is the most real Torah. The real Torah is not sitting with Sefer by ourselves at home. The real Torah, what we're tuning into today, was our inability to share space. Right? What happened? We lost our space. We lost our physical space to share with each other, the Beit Medrash, and we lost a certain access to a certain intimacy of sharing relationship and sharing space. We didn't lose that because we're bad. We didn't lose it because we're bad girls and we're being punished. We lost it because our attachment system got wounded. The way we call the attachment system in the language of Torah is the word dat or das, right? Now, it's an energy center in the body, and every one of these energy centers is connected directly to a system in the body. Right? Some of you have been studying with me for years and you know this, but I know I'm reviewing it, and some of you have not. Okay, so the energy system in the body for das is the nervous system. So now please understand, when we say the Eitz Hadat, Tov Ra, we are talking about a healthy, stabilized nervous system. We might also call it a secure attachment system. Or we're speaking about Eitz Hadat, Tov Ra, a nervous system that sometimes can function in healthy attachment and sometimes is functioning from the other three attachment styles, which are avoidant, anxious, and the most severe is disorganized. Okay? By disorganized, often when they did studies with children, these attachment styles, so children with highly disorganized attachment patterns will do things like bang their head against the wall, or rock back and forth, right? Or move in circles because they're trying to self-regulate. They're trying to self-soothe. Okay. Some of this is a little bit of a review for those of you who were in class yesterday, and I told you continue today. Please God be well. Okay. So, but let's begin with when there is secure attachment. Now, what is the word that you would think would be the word in Hebrew for attachment? We've given one word, which is da'at. Da'at is connection. And by the way, let's just unpack da'at for a minute. Okay, so we said that da'at is the nervous system, yes, in the body. Or da'at literally connects the brain to the spine, right? Yes, right? So we're literally connecting the messaging board, or we might call it even the mental body, to the emotional body, also called za or zarapin, right? The whole spine is where we have the electrical impulses on an emotional level, right? This is on a mental level. This is an emotional level. This is the level of action, kanat, right? Also, is the entire what's it called again? The satellite dish. It's the whole vessel. It's the entirety of the whole vessel. Okay, so when we speak about, for example, paro, right, and we all know this Torah that it's the oreth, right, the back of the neck. We're literally speaking about a disconnect in the system, a disconnect between the brain and the healthy functioning emotional body and nervous system, right? So it's very important that, that when we say yichudim in Torah, when we say that the mekubalim, what are they mostly involved in is yichudim, it's joining the reality and the information of all these worlds. It's not useful to us to study a piece of Zohar that not understand how does that fit into my breathing, for example, or my eating patterns, or my relationships, or how I deal with money, or right? We want Yehudim, in other words, that this is a live, vibrant, healthy tree system on all levels, right? Okay, so what's another word that we might use in Hebrew for the word for connection? Kesher. Keep going. Who said that? No, who said Chibur? Chibur, right? So that's really the shorish that we're going to work with today. Okay, and you'll see it at Chazal has so masterfully pointed out where all the codes are, right? Because any Hebrew sholish, right? We know this, right? Any Hebrew root is not just a system of letters, it's also energies. Specific, every Hebrew letter is an energy. We know this, right? It's a color, it's a frequency, it's a musical note. You know that? Every Hebrew word is a musical note. When we speak of Shemot Hashem, we're actually talking about musical patterns. Okay? So let's just use these three letters, right? The Chet and the Bet and the Resh, and tell the story beginning from Gan Eden to Tisha B'Av to the Geula Shlema. Okay, how this entire process is a process encoded in these three letters. Okay, any questions? So anybody needs anything there?
What color is dust?
So I can't really answer that question on one leg as Hello would say. The reason is because there's a system of the Ramah, there's a system of the Arizal, there's a system of Rabbi Akiva. Okay, so right, it's like saying, you know, I don't know, can't think of a good enough example. Okay, but by and large, dot in most systems is a type of turquoise, if you will.
What's your color?
Right, play the north, right? Okay, yes. Okay, so let's begin with this. Let's go back to Gan Eden, because this entire story begins in Gan Eden. Okay, so scene one, Gan Eden. And we have these two trees, right? We have the Eitz HaDa'at Tov Ra, and we have the Eitz HaChaim. They're both exactly, precisely the center of, right? Now, again, we can unpack this and spend hours just speaking about one of these things. I'm going to skip a lot. But if something confuses you, please jump in. But not a story or an anecdote. Just if you need clarification about the whole matter, about the information.
How to go for them?
That's exactly what I'm going. Exactly. That's beautiful. That's it. When we get a question that the Holy Masters ask, the tradition, which you can say right now, to say Baruch Shekivanti. Right. Baruch Shekivanti means, wow, I'm on the same page of thinking as the Holy Masters. Shout out to Hashem. Okay. Right. So it says like this. Exactly. How could one tree be in the center of a garden that's two trees? Well, the Holy Masters, the short version which we need for today is the following. We have one nervous system. We have one tree. We have one spine. We are one tree. We can be a tree that is healthy, in correct connection and chibur and flow. And that when we're in that state, we're called an Eitz HaChaim, because the whole system is supporting life. It is supporting healthy life. It is supporting balanced life. Now, let's break that down a little further. Okay. I need to rewind the clock to 10. It's making me so nervous. Okay. So we have the right side of the tree, the left side of the tree, and the center of the tree. In the most simple way, the right side of the tree, we are an actual electrical organism, right? We know this, I hope. I hope we all know this already, right? The right side of our tree, very much like a battery, has a positive plus charge. Actual, that we talk about chesed, it's not a concept. It's an outflow of energy. It's real. It's not just like a mushel, okay? The left side of our tree has a negative charge. Negative not as in not nice, negative as in contractive, receptive, okay? Like a vessel pulling in energy or containing energy or restricting energy, right? The best word we could use for the whole left side of the tree would be restraint. Okay? For our purposes, what we're looking at today is the middle column of the tree. And that middle column has a neutral charge. It's neutral. Exactly the way that we would have a proton, an electron, and a neutron in any, those are the three building blocks. It's also in our tree, the three building blocks, which is why you're going to have the number 3 is very fundamental. In Torah, when we're talking about a healthy, beautiful, harmonious system. So Torah is called 3, and Yisrael is called 3. Yes? So far with me? So, okay? When the system is healthy, you're going to have a reference to 3. Or Tif Erod or Yaakov Yisrael, it's all the same thing. Okay. This neutral column is going to take us through Keter, Da'at, right? We have Da'at Elyon and Da'at Tachton, right? Upper Da'at and lower Da'at. That is mystical. It's also physiological. Okay, there's a here where the brains connect, and there's here where the brain and the spinal cord connect. Okay, so we call it, you see it in the Sefer, Das Elyon, Das Tachton. Don't just keep it up in the mystical realms. It's you, it's talking about you. Okay, so far so good? Okay, so we have Keter, which we're going to speak about in the end. We have Das Elyon, Das Tachton, Tiferet, also called Israel. This center in the body, also called Yud He Vav He. However, this Yud He Vav He is pronounced Adonai. Okay, if you're not following me, don't worry about it. You didn't miss it. Okay? Yisod and Malchut. Okay? Malchut is not really part of the system because Malchut is the entirety of the whole vessel. Malchut is interface. Think of Malchut as always being the interfacing between insides and outsides. So your mouth will be Malchut because it interfaces between your speech and birthing your speech, right? Your womb will be Malchut. Again, it's an interface. The soles of your feet will be Malchut. Again, it's where your body interfaces with something outside your body. So far, so good? Okay. So we have this one tree, right? And he says, okay, there's a way of being in this system where we have a Seder Hishtalshelus, where we have a flow, where we're in alignment with the energy codes. You know what the energy codes is called? Oraita, Torah. Torah is the manual for how these energies work. Kabbalah is pashut, the study of every energy inside your body and outside your body and how they interact. And with the goal of bringing them into harmonious connection called chibur. There are times we have to disconnect energies completely because they were miswired. And we might call that hachna'ah, havdalah, and then hamtakah to rewire them. Okay? So for example, trying to think of a more para example. You know, somebody would eat something not kosher. It has an energy impact on every system, on their nefesh, their ruach, their neshama. It also has an impact on chaya and chida, which is the shared energy systems. Okay, but we have something called tshuva. Tshuva has a three-pronged process: havdalah, and hamtakah, which in the short version means snipping the things that got miswired, fixing the wiring, and rewiring them. We call hamtakat hadinim. Hamtakah. But why is it hamtakat hadinim? Because now the flow is actually a better, stronger flow than it was before. Right? We never go through that process, the Rebbe says, right? We never have a yeridah just in order to fix a problem in the system. It's always yeridah, so aliyah. Now the system is a iPhone. What are we up to now? 17? My phone probably cost like $20. I don't know. But right, it's to have the 2.0 version. And 2.0 always means more connection, more flow, right? More harmony between the parts of the system, leading to more connection. It's always about more connection. Wait, but now, not just more of any connection, because more healthy connection, more connection that's always in service of, come on, give it to me, what's the word? One word.
Life.
Life. You said that. Yes, life. Chaim. Eitz hachayim. Because there's a type of connection that leads to more depth. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but for example, this is part of the reason why men and women don't have intimate relations when the woman is in niddah, because it's not energies in that moment of the strongest life force. It's a mixture of life. Okay, I want you to take out.
I didn't get it. It's not. What?
It's not. It's a. You don't. We in Torah don't mix life and death, right? That's why we don't have shotness. It's why we don't have kilayim. It's why we're not together when we're in niddah. We make a havdalah. We separate. These are energies of life and connection. These are energies of death and disconnection. We rewire, but we're always rewiring to have more life. More life. Okay. If you would like, I want you to take out your pens and papers because I'm going to go fast. Because do I really only have to 11? Because we started at 10:20. 10:18, sorry. I did look. But
You can add 10.
okay, I'll do my best. Okay. So I'm gonna, you know how I love to do this. I'm gonna give you guys the maps. It would be wonderful and beautiful if we had time to unpack all the maps, but we don't. So I'll give you the maps. But if you miss something in the map, just quickly raise your hand. But I can't give you a whole long each thing in the map. So you're gonna have 2 papers or 2 sides.
This one is wrong. Only now.
It's 10:30.
This is Saraya clock. It's been 10 minutes slow. Like 7 for like 25 minutes.
You can transfer time.
Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So you'll see I sat last night literally for hours making individual posters of every word, every single word with stencils, and then I just CTA'd. So now I'm gonna do it in a fast way. Okay, so here we go. The first word, I want you to have a side of 2 papers or 2 sides of paper. Okay, one is the side of Eitz HaDa'at, and one is the side of Eitz HaChaim. Okay. Just for you. It's just for you. Okay. So first word I want you to put on there is Bet Resh Chet. Okay, which is it on the Eitz Ha. Now I'm going to take you through the whole Eitz HaDa'at Torah side first. Okay.
So what is it?
So you're going to have the word Boreach. Boreach. Wait, Chevra, I'll say it again, but just try not to talk about yourself. But I'll say it again. Bet Resh Chet. Bet Resh Chet. This entire map is made up of those 3 letters. Bet and Resh and Chet. Yeah? So far so good? Everybody okay? Okay. This word, of course, means Boreach.
Run away.
Boreach, to run away, to flee. Well, not yet, but it's the same 3 letters. Same 3 letters, okay? It has the following meaning: to run, to hide, to flee. Boreach. Okay, so what happens? There's this beautiful tree, and we're not there. There's a way of connecting to love. There's a way of connecting to food. There's a way of connecting to our own mind. There's a way of relationshiping. There's a way of connecting to intimacy, which will further life. But Hashem says, but you know what? There's another way of connecting to food. There's another way of connecting to sexuality. There's another way of connecting to love and intimacy. There's another way of connecting to the voice in your own head, right? That's the Nachash. Nachash is the voice in your head that tells you mean things, right? The voice in your own head that tells, that hurts, that wounds your mind, okay? And then the Holy Masters go even further back and they say that first experience of the Eitz Hadat, Tov V'Ra, is the first time we lose the connection to self, real self, inner self, true self. We might call that our Nefesh Elokim, our infinite godly light, and start to define ourselves and reflect ourselves to ourselves and one another through a different lens. That lens is called the Nefesh Behemit. That is a finite system, and the value in that system is very relative, right? So the Holy Masters come and say, you know, the first time a baby is sitting there and the mommy is having a bad day, and she stands over the baby and the mommy's like making a face, right? She's having a hard day, nothing to do with the baby, but the baby makes a kesher in the brain. I must be unloved. Because look, my mommy is angry about having yeah. Or be with me, right? You understand? So this is that the Holy Masters say that is the beginning of your exiles. By exiles in IFS, in internal family systems, we mean those most tender energies, most vulnerable energies inside of you. We'll give some examples of those energies, okay? And I'm sorry if it's push those buttons. This is the day we're meant to push those buttons in the most loving way, most gentle, loving way. But we're meant to be with these parts of us today. Ready? Parts of me that feel I'm unlovable. You're gonna make a list. Make a list, what we call the exiled emotions. Okay? I'm unlovable. I'm not deserving of love, of goodness, of kindness, of Yeshua. Fill in the blank, but I'm not deserving. Okay? I'm a burden. How about I'm ugly? How about I'm not enough? I'm bad. Not I did something. I'm bad. If you really knew, okay? Can we leave out any good exiles? Stupid. That's I'm a burden. I'm a burden. I want you to know if you get nothing from this class, if you take away nothing, please take away this sentence. The entire purpose of this day is to go inside yourself, those parts of you that hold those beliefs. And you're not just holding them on a mental level. These are energies that dwell in you. And these are actually the energies in your subconscious that drive your system. You may think you're making nice, active, conscious choices or even super conscious choices. But Hashem, the Holy Master, said, no, what happened at the Chet HaMeraglim was we got to see from what energies we're moving, what energies we're approaching Hashem and ourselves, and what's possible for us in life. You understand? This is the anniversary of the day when Hashem says, I want to take you into Eretz Yisrael. I want to give you everything. I want to give you beautiful family and beautiful love and beautiful marriages and a beautiful connection with your body and a beautiful connection with the earth and a beautiful connection with food and a beautiful connection with money and time and a beautiful connection with your soul and a beautiful connection with families, because that's really the core of all of it, right? And each other and nations. And our parts came out. And what did we do? First of all, we tried to kill, no joke, we tried to kill Yeshua and Kalev and Aaron and Moshe. Don't think of them as people for right now. Think of them in your own system as archetypal energies. It's telling you love is possible. Peace is possible for you. Healing is possible for you. Not just everyone else out there. You matter. Without you, Am Yisrael cannot. It's sweet and it's cute and it's beautiful, and you'll see at the end we're going to do something with this basket, okay? But you understand, Hashem is, okay, one more piece that I beg you to take away with you today. Please throw in the garbage. I beg you to flush down the toilet the image of God as a punishing parent, as a force that is out to get you, as a force that wants to point out to you everything wrong with you. Please, again, if you take nothing away from this class, I beg you to even allow a dot inside of yourself for a rewiring that belief system. Yeah, that's right. We haven't heard.
So who punishes
Ourselves.
So
Because Hashem is not interested in punishment. Hashem is interested in chinuch. Chinuch is teaching you how to have a healthier system, how to have a better life, how to have more joy, more love. It's exactly the point.
so how do I stop finding
That's right. Stay tuned.
because
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, someone's on Zoom. Yes.
She wants you to ask her question. So just repeat what
Okay.
she said.
Oh. Repeat. Okay. Oh.
No, I have a question to ask.
No, she had a question. Hold on. I'm sorry. What's your name? Your name? Malka. We've met before. But yes, can you repeat your question?
I will repeat my question. You say that Hashem is a loving parent, and he or she, so they don't want to punish us, but we sometimes end up being guilty of punishment. And you say that we punish ourselves. So I ask, how do we stop punishing ourselves? Especially context when not everything punish ourselves is actually.
Okay. Here's the answer. Tisha B'Av. That's the answer. For real. I know it sounds like cryptic, and I'm going to unpack it for you. Tisha B'Av is the first half of how we heal this, and Tu B'Av is when the medicine goes into our entire system, actually receive a new system, a system of love.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, 1 second for your question. I have a question. How many of you in this room, please be honest, because this is the day of unmasked. That's why we're sitting on the floor and we're not all smelling all nice and whatever, right? This is the day of vulnerable honesty. How many of you in this room, raise your hand, raise them high, carry parts that believe that Hashem is a scary, punishing, strict.
Also,
How?
in davening, we say Al Chay twice during Shemon Esrei, and 3 times a day. You're like going like this all like a few
No,
times a day.
no, not if you're chassid.
So high. Oh,
I just want to, again, if someone's waiting on someone to ask a question. That simply means my heart has gotten off center. My heart has gotten locked. My heart has taken in ideas and beliefs and concepts and energies that are not true, that are crooked, they're not aligned, they're not Yisrael Yashar El. 1 second, please, because someone's waiting to ask a question on Zoom. Yes, Zoom.
Hi, Reva. This is Sarah speaking. I wanted to know if we could go back for a minute to the Eitz Hadat, and you had asked us to put down Boreach. Now, how do we connect what you just said to back to the idea of Boreach? Why did you get us to write the word Boreach? And if I understood it, is that the idea of running from yourself, or did I not understand that properly?
Got it. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's refocus, okay, because I want to give you guys this map, and you'll understand, hopefully, when we get to the end of the map, which I can give you the whole map in 5 minutes, and then let's see if we can unpack. Okay, that feels okay to people's hearts? Okay, Boreach. We bring in the word Boreach because Adam and Chava's response to falling short of mark, Adam and Chava's response to this primal wound of Tzedakah, Tov Ra, which we're going to call it in our language of today. It's called an attachment wound. An attachment wound. Okay. Now, when there's healthy attachment, I'm going to say this again. When there's healthy attachment, you will have 4 things in the space. I was meditating all night, not all night, but so much of the night. You asked me yesterday in class. 4 energies, 4 experiences of a healthy attachment system. We call that Tikkun Habrit. We call it Das. We call it the Eitz HaChaim. We call it Bekut. Those are all terms that we use in Torah to depict a healthy attachment system. Yeah, so far? Chibur. I want to tell you, but I don't want to give away the punchline of the story. So 1 second, okay? So we'll have 4 things: safe, secure, soothed, and safe, secure, seen, and soothed. Safe, secure, seen, and soothed. Okay. So yesterday, Saraya of Tzfat asked, "What's the difference between safe and secure?" I was thinking about it so much. So safe is that the t'na'im, the conditions in the space, you are actually safe. No one is going to harm you, hurt you, manipulate you, use you for their own benefit. We call that abuse, right? Abuse you in any way. Safe. Secure is what Moshe Rabbeinu gave us, the Raya Mehemna, which is a different energy of steadfast reliability. Ne'emanut.
Yesterday you described it as physical.
Yeah.
That's easier to grasp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever's easier for you to grasp, take that into yourself. Okay. You understand everything that we're working towards, whether it's in our own internal system, whether it's in our family system, whether it's in what we call Knesset Israel, which is the Jewish family system, that we share one soul, and then taking that to be an Ola Goyim and working with the worldwide system. You understand we can't get away. There's nowhere to go. We can't get away from the Goyim, okay? We're one system. We are one system. Now, the good news is, prat, klal, prat. Rav Kook says again and again, you have to work on healing the individual system and you work on healing the shared system. But there's a Seder Hishtashalut. There's an order of operations. And I brought it here, and I'll read it in a minute. That Rav Kook says, you must begin with your own internal system first. You will be empty if you try to heal Hamas and the Jewish problem, and your own internal system is carrying the same energies. The good news is, as you heal your internal family, the Hamas and the Jews that are fighting inside of you, you immediately affect the entire external system. Now, if you think I'm making this up, which, I do make up stuff, so don't trust me, I want to read you this piece from Haggadah. But before I say that, I have an enormously profound thing to put into the space. So the Me'or of Shamish asks this question, and he says, when is the day that Yaakov Avinu meets, now we learned it in Yeshiva Day School, as meets Esav Malach. No. That is not how the Holy Masters teach it. The Holy Masters teach it, when does Yaakov meet his own suffering shadow? When does Yaakov meet the internal judges and critics that call him stupid and dumb and fat and ugly and unlawful and not holy and bad and selfish and crooked and mean? And when does he meet those voices and learn how to not run from them, not boreach? That's your first clue. Not boreach. Why? Because Adam and Chava, their first response to seeing these parts and shame and, oh my God, I'm not whole, and then there are parts in me that feel embarrassing and feel shame, was to boreach. Until Hashem's going, Marco, Polo, anybody, right? And how does Hashem say Marco Polo? Ayeka, just Seicha, right? Where are you? The first thing is, don't run, don't hide, don't turn away your face. Face me, face yourself, face what happened, face. The only way out, we have a saying in 12 steps, the only way out is through. If you would have a motto for Tisha B'Av, that's the motto. The only way out of this pain is through. The only way out of this shame is through. The only way out of this fear is through. Now you see why we're working with the middle column, that it's the birthing column. We're in the Bein HaMitzarim. We're birthing something today. By the way, the good news is what you're birthing and letting go of today, if you allow it, is you can let go. You can let go of the shame you carried, not only for yourself, but intergenerationally. Understand this is a Yom Tov. You see, I'm in white b'chavanah, because today's a Yom Tov. Today's a Yom Tov. Today's a day. This is a day, if you so allow it, you can sit with and be kind to. That's the key. That's the clue. Rachamim. Rachamim is the energy that you must take with you to go sit with these ones that say, I'm ugly, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy of love, I'm not good, I'm not beautiful, I am not deserving, I don't belong. And here's another really good one. I don't have a place in the world. I don't have a space. There's not room for me. And we're talking about makom today. Of course there's a place for you. Of course you're not abandoned, rejected, and exiled. But you exiled yourself, so let's call yourself home. Today is the day to call yourself home. Call yourself home. Now, would you want to go to a home where they're calling you stupid, fat, ugly, dumb? No, I wouldn't, right? So the only voice that you're going to call yourself back to yourself is a voice of compassion. Yes, does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to read this piece from Rechov. My brain is in 1,000 places at once. Okay. So the Me'or Shemesh comes and he says, when did this happen? When did Yaakov go back over the Yabok River? Some of you have been studying with me for years, so you know these codes, but some of you don't. Yabok River, that's a Yud and a Bet and a Kuf minus what letter?
Well, great.
Ayin for Yaakov. Yaakov, Yabok River, plus the Ayin, you get Yaakov, right? Yaakov has to go back over the Yabok River and get his Ayin. What's his Ayin? All 70 parts of himself. All the parts. Every part of me, the parts that I judge unlovable and disgusting and gross and not holy and nah, sorry, they're still God. Gotta go back and bring them home. I gotta go back and find God in those parts of me and redeem them and unburden them from the burden of being hated, not from the outside. Forget that. That's like already secondary. Who's their primary tormentor? Ourselves. Ourselves. Okay, good. So then Me'or Shemesh asks this beautiful question and he says, okay, so he goes through this process and he spends all night meeting, not Esav Malach, his twin. Who's his twin? His evil twin. Himself. His own shadow. His own parts that I'm the Ish Tam Yosef Olim. I am the good person. Just don't look behind me, right? Just don't look at the back, right? Where I store all my secret chain. Not so secret, but we think it's secret, right? So the Me'or Shemesh comes and says like this. First he says, and then there's this glorious v'nahapu that happens. What's the v'nahapu? After going through this process, he gets a name change. He becomes something, not a heel, not a little piece of the accordion. Yisrael, Yashar, Yoshev, I'm aligned, I'm in my heart, I'm in self-energy, right? Good. So the Me'or Shemesh says, wow, that's amazing. When did that happen? The Me'or Shemesh says, well, maybe it happened Purim night. Because we know that we say v'nahapu, right? That there was all this decreed on us for imminent destruction. Just kidding, God. Right? That's of death. And then, right, in the morning, right, it says Haman is hung on this gallows. That's how many amot high?
70?
Who said 50? 50, right, 50, right? In other words, we're back up into the energy of Keter, which is unconditional love, tolerance, patience, kindness, acceptance of all parts, Okay? Yes? Good. Then the Me'or Shemesh says, or maybe it's Lag BaOmer night. Because again, 32 days. Rabbi Akiva, you understand? You understand who Rabbi Akiva's Talmud was? Rashbi. Right? Rishima Bar Yochai. Can you only imagine Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva's Talmudim, 32 days, right? Can't figure out how to connect and relationship. They have all these beautiful concepts, all these beautiful Torahs. But when it comes to relationshiping, no tools. Do you understand? That's the point of Siyasa Omer. We have all this energy, all these Torah ideas, but there's a disconnect between the ideas and our relationships. Our relationships are still functioning on wounded attachment, right? Filled with jealousy and hatred and anger and shame and pain and blame and But then the Me'or Shemesh comes and says, come on, give me the answer. Tisha B'Av. And of course, you understand when Hasidic masters give you this information, what they're really telling you is, it's all three happening on different parts of the system. All three. So it's Purim, and it's Lag Omer. Now we're in the final birth. Okay? Good. So one piece. Fast. This is from the Rav Avram Yitzchak Cohen Club, and it's called the three nights, the three possibilities of the night that Yaakov met himself, every part of himself, struggled with every part of himself, that essentially learned the core key lesson. And the core key lesson was, I cannot run away from any part of me. I cannot lock up forever parts of me that I have deemed are ugly or unlovable or bad or evil or not good, because it's all God. And if I lock those parts up, you think the joy parts don't get locked up? It's one system. So until I meet what's clogging the system, what's blocking the system, what's shaming the system, what's keeping the system afraid, I don't get access to the joy parts of the system. Kol mi shemit avel al Yerushalayim, whoever mourns Yerushalayim is zocha to see her in her joy. This is Yerushalayim. Don't think it's out there. Sorry? Yes, it's many. It's many things. It's many things. In other words, if something is true in Asiya, then it's also true in Bria and Yetzira, and that's a different class. But yes, however it works for your system right now, leave it like that. I can't rewire that right now. Sorry. Okay.
But it's fine.
You're what?
Oh, it's fine. She can take mine. Yeah, it's okay. Absolutely.
I want to just, this is really important. And then the last thing is I'll give you guys the map and you'll figure the maps out on your own. Well, that's okay, but this is really important. Okay, this is from the Rav Avram Yitzchak Cohen. Some of you have learned this with me in class, but it bears repeating. Ha'adam ha'ko'ev tamid al avonotav ve'avonot ha'olam. So confused. Is that clock?
That's late. It's late.
Ha'adam ha'ko'ev tamid al avonotav ve'avonot ha'olam. The person who is broken, really broken by what's broken inside of them and what got broken in them and what they broke in the world. Right? And listen to Rav Kotz's Lashon. He says tamid, carrying this all the time, walking around with this energy all the time. And he says, ve'avonot ha'olam, and is also looking outside. This person looking in her internal system and seeing everything that's misaligned and everything that's broken. And now Rav Kook is using very specific lashon. It's even stronger because there's the belief that I broke this. I'm the only one to blame for my own pain and my own brokenness, my own unworthiness, or my own unlovability. It's my fault. It's true. Who said it's true?
I did.
Great. Beautiful. Let me talk to Lisa. Exactly. Okay, again, show of hands. How many of you carry that piece in your system? It's your fault or your own suffering, and maybe even what's happening in the world right now. Wait, I'm going to stop, please, because I Judy's counting my minutes, and I can't give one away. Sorry. I'm sorry. Please, and if you have a minute, add, don't forget what you're going to say. Okay. The one who is walking around in this constant pain, saying, it's my fault. It's my fault that I'm broken. It's my fault that my family's broken. How about this one, my favorite? It's my fault that my children are broken. Raise your hands if you think it's your fault your children are broken. It's my fault that my marriage is suffering. And I'm not even married, see? It's all my fault. Okay, and it's my fault that the world is suffering. And it's my fault the world is at war right now, right? So this is Rav Kook talking to you. Tzarich hu, tzarich hi. Hamid limchol velisloach le'atzmo ve'le'olam kulo. It says, I'm going to give you a spiritual practice. And the spiritual practice is to be in a constant state of offering yourself compassionate forgiveness. Not, Rav Kook says, not after you've done tshuva. No. This is unconditional. Okay, ready? Uvazeh, and through this spiritual practice, says Rav Kook, hu mamshich slicha ve'or chesed al ha'havaya kulo. By offering yourself compassionate understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness. Rav Kook says, not only do you benefit, but you immediately draw into the world, listen to this, an energy of loving forgiveness and a light of unconditional love, al ha'havaya kula, which penetrates and interpenetrates all of reality. Now, do you understand that havaya means masha haya hoveh v'yeh? Rav Kook says when you do this practice, you're traveling throughout all time and space. You're healing your grandparents, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. You're healing people who were in the Shoah. You're healing people who live in 2050. No joke. No joke. Not as a cute little thing to say to make us feel better. No. Rav Kook doesn't function on that thing. Yes, that's what we said, 2050. Absolutely. Al ha'havaya kula. You offering, you being kind and compassionate and gentle and accepting to yourself and all your parts. Now we have a part that says, if I'm kind to myself, maybe I'll do chata'im and I won't change. No one ever changed. This was Moshe Rabbeinu's tikkun. No one ever elevated because you hit them on the head with a stick. That's Moshe's tikkun and hitting the rock. He was meant to sing to the rock. Sing to your parts. Sing yourself into elevation. No one ever became a better person by being berated and smashed. You can control another person by berating them, but you're not going to call them into health and wholeness and love, healing. No. You might get them to do your will for a short period of time. You're not going to call them into intimate connection by hitting the rock. I have to understand that's what Moshe's lesson was. He wanted so much for us to elevate and become whole. He's like, no. Okay, but Cook continues. I'm going to go to 11:15. That's still okay, guys? I really want to say 11:20 because of my love for you. Okay. Umesameach et hamakom, umesameach et now, just in case you have parts that are going, is it okay with God if I give myself all this compassionate, loving kindness? Rav Kook says, Bevadai ubevadai. Ubazeh mesameach et hamakom ve'et habriot. Says, and through this practice of offering yourself acceptance, compassion, tolerance, patience, encouragement, finding the good points in yourself and watering them every day, right? Rav Kook says you bring joy to the Creator and you bring joy to all of creation. Counterintuitive, right? Especially, sorry, that some of us who grew up like I did, in a Litvish system, we didn't know that. That was not the message. Okay. Uvatchila, צריך למחול לעצמו. Now Rav Kook is saying there's a Seder Pishtoshus. Before you go offering all this nice, loving, juicy compassion to everyone else and leaving yourself out, this is no. Rav Kook says no. You must first. By must we mean you get to, by the way. You get to first offer yourself this loving compassion. And only then will you have the strength in you to extend this compassion outwards to others. Okay, sorry, I lied. Can I please beg you for 5 more minutes? I know, but we also started 8 minutes late. I also had 8 minutes cut out.
Reva, can you tell us?
No, I don't want to be disrespectful to you, Alana. Hold on, let me just.
Can you tell us what you're reading from, please?
Yes, I'm reading from a sefer called Yesh Lecha Kanfei Ruach Al Imun Ha'adam Be'atzmo V'chayav. And it's from Harav Avram Yitzchak Cohen Cook. You have wings of light of spirit. I'm believing in yourself and in your life. Okay, so just finish the sentence, and he says, "V'chol ha'karov karov kodem al anfei shoshav mitzad neshama ve'al mishpacho ohavav doro umato olamo v'chol ha'olamim." Okay, so Rav Kook says there's an order of operations here, and the order of operations is to begin with your own self, your own parts, and to begin first with your own exiles. Okay, I'm watching the clock super carefully. So let me say one other thing. I'm going to give you the map. It's going to take me 1 minute. If you don't understand, grab me afterwards and I'll tell you a word. For those who catch it, they catch it. Okay. So we're the word boreach. So we see that there's a level of disconnection of running, and by running we mean addictions. We mean distraction. We mean anything that numbs us from facing ourselves, right? So we can say our phone, and we can say our food addictions, and we can say drugs and alcohol, and we can say sex addictions, and we can say being busy all the time, or my part that does this is caretaking and people pleasing, and in other words, avoiding my own system. Anything you do to avoid your own system and not sit with your own wounded parts. Okay, so that's Boreach. Then we have the second permutation, which is Chelet. Chet and a Resh and a Bet, which means a sword. Okay, we have this vision of the Chelet. It's called Lohet Chelet HaMitapechet, the flaming, swirling sword, which is guarding the entrance back into Gan Eden. Chelet, Chet, Resh, Bet, Chelet.
Are we now on that next column?
No. We're only
We're
right
still on
now.
the right column.
Yeah, we're only
Okay.
right now in the breakdown of connection, right? You understand what I mean by the Chelet HaMitapechet? Okay, and it's this sword is being held by the Kruvim. The Kruvim, the holy masters say that you can interchange the Kaf and the Chet, so that Kruvim, al tikra'u Kruvim and the Chuvim. Right? Sorry, if you caught it, you caught it. You didn't, sorry. Okay, we have the word Churban. Churban means the breakdown of intimate connection. It means the breakdown of the home, the breakdown of the harmony, of the peace, of the wholeness, of the inner system, the outer systems. We have the word Charava, which means to be dried out, right? Not juicy, dried out. The dry land is called a Charava. We have Chervon, which means a failure. We have Chilben, which means a blow, right? A blow, and it means to be spoiled. Not spoiled as in ruined, as in ruined, right? Okay, we give you fast the other side.
Oh.
We said 11:20, no? Literally have 2. I also started late. Like, I'm sorry, but like I came on time. I came at 5 to 10. Sorry, like I also spent a lot of time preparing. I understand, but I'm also gonna stick up for my parts, because I put in a lot of time preparing. And now I was, we started 18 minutes straight, that's, I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but let me at least finish the math. The part piece makes no sense. Okay, so on the other side, I just want you to notice that the first encounter that Moshe Rabbeinu, we'll go back before Moshe Rabbeinu, go to Avraham Avinu, that this entire journey began in Hebron. This entire journey of fixing chibur, fixing connection, started in Hebron, right? That's very intentional. That's very important. It's about chibur. And then Moshe Rabbeinu's first encounter with Hashem is at Har Chorev, also called Har Sinai. That's the first time Moshe ever encountered Hashem at the Sneh Bo'er, but it's also where the Lichot were given, Har Chorev. I want you to put into the equation that Rabbi Shimon and his son were eating chalubim, which is a food of healing connection while they were in the cave. And where we are going with all of this is we're building something called the Beit Knesset Noam. It's going from feeling abandoned and rejected to being fully, totally chosen. If you didn't understand any of that, catch me on the way out. What I want to do is just pass two things. Pass this basket. If you get your own name, put it back, take another name. The point of this is until Tu B'Av, Rav Kook says the only way to fix Sinat Chinam is to flood the world with Ahavat Chinam. This is the point of the Torah that he was given. First, flood your own system with Ahavat Chinam, unconditionally loving yourself and all your parts for no reason. Pick a name, daven for this person until Tu B'Av. And what you want to daven for this person is from this place of Ahavat Chinam. Right? Not because they deserve it, not because it's anything that they've done to earn it or deserve it, just showering them with unconditional good. In the meantime, while that's being passed around, Judy printed out for you guys, this is from Rav Moshe Cordovero, the Ramak, who was the Arizal's, originally was the Arizal's teacher. This is a list, I'll explain it to you while you pass it. Just take one and pass it. Okay, take one and pass it.
If anyone came late, right?
I'm gonna sorry, 1 second. I really want to end. I want you to add to your notes, to add onto this list. Okay, that this is a list according to the Ramah. This is a list of how to practice these energies of building up unconditional love in your system and then outside of your system. Okay, that's pretty much what you need to know from this list of practicing these energies, first and foremost, as Rav says, towards yourself. Okay?
I'm sorry, I don't think there's enough of these, so if you want one, let me know and I'll email it to you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Reva.
Thank you, everybody. I do also want to say we very intentionally moved the Tisha B'Av workshop so that people can stay for these classes here now. And at 1:15, there's a movie here. If you would like to join us for breath work, yeah.